All right guys, so in today's video, I'm gonna be sharing with you 33 things that you should not do with your Harley-Davidson motorcycle. Let's get into it. 33 things that you should not do with your Harley-Davidson motorcycle, and possibly any motorcycle that you have, but we're gonna focus on Harleys today. I've done probably most all of them and still do some of them. I'm ashamed to admit it, but it's the truth. I'm going to read off my notes that I have so I can stay on track here. Number one, changing the slip-on and air cleaner without putting a tuner on the bike. I've done it. It sounded like I was going faster. Because if you change the sound of a motorcycle, sometimes you think you're going faster than what you really are, but you're not. I actually lost torque. I gained a little bit of horsepower. Now the new bikes, they will adjust to make your bike run, but they don't adjust to make your bike have performance gains. If you want to have a performance gain with changing the slip-on and air cleaner, you're gonna need a tuner. Now, if you just want to do it for the sound, you can do it, but you're going to actually lose power. And I found out the hard way, but check that video out. I made that a couple years back. All right, number two, revving when you first start your bike. So many people do this. They start their bike and they start revving their motor. Don't do that. If you have a fuel injected motorcycle, you should let your motorcycle stabilize in the RPMs first. Most motorcycles, all motorcycles are gonna rev up and then they're gonna come down to their idling RPM. Then you can rev all you want. If you start revving, you are dumping a whole bunch of fuel. When your bike is trying to get to its regular idling point and you're just revving, it's bad for your bike. Number three, revving and shutting off immediately. You've been to a bike event, people say, hey, what type of pipe you have on that motorcycle? And you bring them over to your bike and you start your motorcycle and you don't let it idle down. You just start revving your bike. You immediately shut it off. After you just dumped a whole bunch of fuel in there. If you're going to do that, start your bike, let your bike idle, let your bike get down to the right idle RPM, what it sounds like, and then afterwards, let it idle a little bit more, then you can turn it off. Revving your motorcycle and immediately turn it off is bad for your bike. Number four, blipping the throttle. I'm not talking about when you're coming to a stop or gearing down. I'm talking about wide open, shutting it down and actually rolling it forward. You know, it's taking off and just, however, it was bad on my bike. I actually stripped the gears in the throttle body. Now the throttle body has a plastic gear in it. Opening it and closing it shut real fast puts a lot of stress on that, and it just stripped the gears, the teeth right off of that plastic gear. Yeah, bad idea. I've done it. Bad idea. Number five, like if you're storing your bike in your garage and it's too cold to ride, you back your bike out, start it, let it idle for 5-10 minutes, cut it off, put it back in. No, that's not good. Definitely something that you should not do. If you're going to start your motorcycle, at least get it out there, get it to temperature and take it on a ride. Doing that can create moisture in your oil and you don't want that. So that's a bad idea. Rain. Now, running an open air cleaner. Now, a little bit of rain, not bad. Torrential downpour, you're getting a lot of water inside, that's bad. Do not do that. Use a rain sock. Use a rain sock. Number seven, when you're washing your bike and you're spraying water directly into your air cleaner. Horrible idea. Goes back to what I was talking about when you're riding in the rain. Listen, your bike needs to breathe. You're spraying all this water on your motorcycle, soaking that air cleaner, and then you're gonna get on this bike and take this bike and ride it down the road. That air cleaner is so saturated with water, it's hard for the air to get through it. Bad idea. It's like you're drowning your bike. Do not do that. What I do, I always take a trash bag, a grocery store bag, wrap it around the air cleaner, wash the bike to keep the air cleaner dry while I'm washing the motorcycle. All right, so number eight, trying to do a burnout and the back wheel's not spinning. I've seen people do this. The back wheel's not spinning, but there's smoke. Yeah, smoke coming from your clutch. Horrible. It happens all the time. You see it at bike events all the time. Definitely do not do that. Number nine, under deflated rear tire. If you're trying to get some extra traction while you're drag racing, it's a good thing. But after you get done with your drag race, air that tire back up. So what you're doing, your tire, if you run it low, your tire will develop some cupping in it and you will not get a whole lot of life out of your tire. You can definitely turn a lot easier on a tire that has the right amount of air in it than one that's a little flat in the rear. Make sure your tire pressure is correct. It will make your tires last longer and it will help you turn easier. Number 10, overloading the tour pack. The tour pack rack is really what I'm talking about. If you have, I've seen people with big bags on the back of their tour pack rack. I'm telling you from experience, you put a lot of weight on that tour pack rack, the front end of your motorcycle is going to be light. You're going to feel it when you take off. You're going to feel it when you go around curves. And sometimes it creates a little shake in the front because your bike is so heavy in the rear and light in the front. And it could cause you to get into a wobble. Don't do it, it's just not worth it. Tour pack rack actually has a weight on there. I know it can hold more, but they have the weight rating on there more for your safety on how the bike's gonna handle, not how much the rack can actually hold. Number 11, we're trying to get to these a little bit quicker. Flying a huge flag on your bike. That will absolutely kill your fuel mileage. Number 12, letting a lithium battery sit. I have a couple bikes with lithium batteries in it, and I don't ride those bikes within 3 weeks, they're dead. The regular batteries, if I don't ride the bikes within 3 weeks, they might start. They might drag a little bit starting, but they'll start. Now, the lithium batteries, within 3 weeks, they're completely dead. But the good thing about a lithium battery is, if it is dead, you still can, some of them you can still jump off, and they charge so much quicker. The regular battery takes a while for them to charge while you're riding it. The lithium battery charges faster on the trickle charger and charges faster when you're riding it. Number 13, this is one that you don't want to do. Riding your motorcycle without setting the pin code. You're going to be upset the day that you lose your key somewhere. Please listen to me. Go and watch the video that I made, 21 things that every Harley-Davidson rider needs to know. It shows you how to set your pin code. Do that, set your pin code, remember it, so if you lose your key, you can start your bike. Number 14, parking your motorcycle for months at a time on bare concrete. There's two things I'd like to say about this. Back in the day, they would say that you could drain your battery from the kickstand, touching the concrete, over time. They used to say that in motorcycle shops. That's why they always used to put pucks down at motorcycle shops. Some people did to save their floors. Some people thought that you could drain your battery through your kickstand. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. You can comment and let me know if you've experienced that. But I do know this is true. Parking on concrete for a long period of time will make your tires flat where the weight is settling on the tires. Now, if you park on little strips of plywood or something like that, something what has a little give, it actually is better. You still will have a little bit of flat spots, but not near as bad as you would parking on concrete. Number 15, we're moving along. I'm gonna try to get a little bit fast. Parking straight in a parking space. You don't want to do that, because when you parking straight into the parking space, that is where cars park. Cars' engines are in the front. Most of them are. The engine leaks oil and you park straight in, your front wheel would be right in that spot. When you back in, your back wheel could be in that spot if you park back deep enough. I'd much rather have oil or something slick on my back wheel than my front wheel. Number 16, using a pressure washer to wash your motorcycle. Using a pressure washer to wash your motorcycle can damage your navigation screen, your speakers, your paint, your wheel bearings. I'll be honest with you, I wash my motorcycle with a pressure washer, but I hold it far off from it. Motorcycles, they can be out in the rain, they can get wet, but a pressure washer is very strong, fine mist. Big raindrop can't get in some of these cracks that the pressure washer can. There's a lot of pressure behind it in the fine mist, so it can cause havoc on your electronics. So do not wash your motorcycle with a pressure washer. 17, washing your motorcycle when it's hot. I've seen people ride their motorcycle to a car wash, bike is hot, they pull into the car wash and immediately start spraying it off with cold water. That will warp your rotors. It can warp your rotors. You should not do that. Let your motorcycle cool off a little bit before you start spraying cold water on that motorcycle, especially on the rotors. Number 18, putting degreaser on your tires. Putting degreaser on your tires does exactly what it says. It takes the grease out of your tires, the oil out of your tires. And if you do that, you are making your tires drier, causing them to dry rot a whole lot faster. Number 19, using Armor All on your tires. It goes without saying, putting Armor All on your tires, it makes your tires slick. It may look good, but it makes your tires slick. Armor All onto the contact patch where your tire actually meets the pavement, or you lean it over a little too far where the Armor All is, you could fall because your tires are slick. So it's a bad idea. Yeah, it looks good, but a bad idea. You shouldn't do it. And number 20, using Armor All on your seat. Same concept. You use Armor All on your seat and you go around to making a tight turn, you slide right off the seat. Don't put Armor All on your seat. There's other things you can put on your seat, but make sure that they're not anything that's going to make your seat slick. You don't need to be sliding off the motorcycle. Now, number 21, this is for people that have denim paint. Do not use car wash soap. Well, most car wash soaps. Denim paint and car wash soaps with wax in them do not mix. If you wash it, it'll have a shiny look, and I'm not talking about a good shiny look. It just looks bad. Do not wash your motorcycle with anything that has wax in it if you have denim paint. Number 22, using degreaser. And I can't stress this enough. Do not, unless you want to ruin it, do not take degreaser and spray the wrinkled finish on your motor. It will take that beautiful black wrinkled finish on your Harley and turn it ashy gray. Don't put degreaser on it. It's the worst thing that you can do to your motorcycle. Number 23, keeping your bike under a cover outside for long periods of time. Bad idea. It can ruin your paint. With the wind blowing, it's moving and scuffing back and forth over your paint. And that goes right into number 24. I see this all the time. Using a motorcycle cover on an open trailer. I get the thinking behind this. You want to keep your motorcycle clean. When you're riding down the road, the wind is blowing and that fabric is scuffing right across your paint and it can make fine scratches all over your paint. It's a horrible idea. Do not do that. It's better to wash it, have a dirty bike than a bike with a whole bunch of scratches all over it because you were trying to save the paint. Number 25, strapping the bike down with the forks compressed. If you're strapping the bike down with the forks compressed, if you leave them strapped down and the forks compressed long enough, it can hurt your fork seals. Number 26, strapping your front end down when you're drag racing. When you're not drag racing, you don't want to have it strapped down because you're really hurting your fork seals. You definitely want to make sure that after you get done doing what you're doing, release the straps and let the front end come back up again because you don't want to hurt those fork seals. Number 27, we're almost done. Strapping your bike down with the front end fully compressed. If you go to a motorcycle dealership and you look at a whole row of used motorcycles, you'll probably find one with a dent right on top of the front fender. And it's from overstrapping their bike. Their bike's on the trailer, their bike hits a pothole or something, front end of that bike comes down and dents the top of that fender. Do not do that. Number 28. Now this is for Pan Americas. Strapping down a Pan America. You do not want to strap your Pan America down while it's in its highest setting because when it settles down to its lower setting, then the straps will loosen up and your bike can fall over. Make sure you strap your Pan America down when it's in its lowest setting. Number 29. Strapping your bike down on a kickstand. Bad idea. You shouldn't do this. Strapping your bike over on the kickstand with all the jostling around of the trailer, putting all that weight on your kickstand and you have it strapped down. It's bad for your kickstand. It's even bad for your kickstand springs because your kickstand doesn't give. It's a difference between being on a flat surface with your bike or being on a trailer where your bike's moving and bouncing up and down and it's putting all that weight over on that kickstand. Do not do that. It might not show up on the trailer, but it can show up later on when your kickstand breaks or your kickstand spring breaks. Number 30, strapping your bike down by the handlebars. Don't do that. Pulling down on the handlebars, it could weaken the bushings in that handlebar risers. It can also weaken the grip. Can't even think what I'm trying to say inside the handlebar clamp. If you ever see a bike that bars move back and forth, that comes from people strapping it down by the handlebars, and also some people that get on their bike, they pull back on the handlebars or when they're getting on a motorcycle. And number 31, strapping the bike down through spokes. That's just horrible for your wheels. You have a lot of weight moving back and forth and the strap is pulling and pushing against your spokes. Not good. Don't do that. It can ruin a set of wheels. Bad idea. And number 32, get back whip. Now you might think it looks cool, but if you have a get back whip and it's connected to your front brake, well, one of the things it could be doing when you're riding in the wind is creating the drag, pulling on that front brake, making that rear brake light turn on a little bit. And if the rear brake light is turning on a little bit, that means there's a little bit of pressure on that front brake. So you are creating a drag on that front brake and you are wearing your brake pads out faster. So get back whips, just don't put them on your front brakes. Find somewhere else to put them. It's a bad idea to have one on your front brake lever. And last but not least, number 33, leather saddlebag lid covers. Now, the concept sounds good because when people get on your bike, they sometimes kick the top of your saddlebag lids and scuff them up. But when you are riding that motorcycle, especially a Harley-Davidson motorcycle, it's vibrating back and forth, shaking the whole time. That paint and that material is going back and forth and scuffing the top of those lids. Now, some good saddlebag covers can have some material in there that's not going to scuff the top of your motorcycle. Definitely need to do your research when you're buying saddlebag covers for your bike. All right, guys, so that is 33 things that you should not do with your Harley-Davidson motorcycle. And I'm guilty of a whole bunch of those things. I really want to hear from you guys. Let me know what you think. Do you agree with all of those things? Is some of those things that you do just think it's not a big deal? Yeah, I'd like to hear from you. Also, if you like this video or if you think this video will be helpful for anybody who rides a motorcycle, please share this video. It helps the channel grow. And guys, I want to thank you for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more like it, please subscribe. Again, thanks for watching. Keep gliding. And as always, have a blessed day.